Hello, we're coming to you from week 31. We've been working on some pretty good stuff that we're excited to show you. Hard at work. So I'll start off with some changes to the GitHub app. I'm starting here in dev mode, and I'm going to kick off a test agent that I've been working on, and then I'll start to go into the different changes to the GitHub app. As I was working through these different like things that we want to support in the GitHub app, like an npm repo or support for like sharing code with the Next.js project, I started to build out this suite of tests. So let's click over to the sorry, 1 second. So yeah, when we kicked that off, we should have seen some deployments spin up. What that agent did was it went in and pushed a commit to a GitHub repo, and that kicked off some deployments. So there we go. We see these deployments got kicked off. We see we have the npm workspace, we have the Next.js project, and then just a very simple example. And the commit was just to this one text file that just has a timestamp in it. I can use that to check if the project was deployed properly. So if we click in here, we can see that we now support multiple Agent 2D projects in the same repo, and the commit statuses show the different projects and their names. And what this is going to do is it's going to go through and deploy all these projects. And then once they're finished deploying, right now in the background, the agent is just polling this. Let's pop over here. It's polling these deployments and seeing if the deployment's done yet. And the first step was actually to just see them pop up. So it's like, oop, deployment started for this project, started for this project, and gets the deployment ID. So now I can go and check them. So while this is running, so I'm going to talk about why this is useful. So we have a large surface area with our deployment infrastructure, because we support all these. We support Python in certain scenarios, right? We support npm workspaces, and we're going to support pnpm and probably turbo repo. So we have this large surface area problem, and it's really hard to keep all of these things working without a solution like this. So this is going to keep going. I can kind of show you what
is it deploying the agent? Is that what it's doing right now? So you pushed a commit, just to try to understand. You've got different types of projects within one repo, and when you push a commit to it, it's building and deploying those different projects to different agents. Is that right?
That's correct. For each project, it's creating a deployment. So you can see that these two were successful. And this last one is just wrapping up, I imagine. Yep. So if we click back to our agent, you can see that all of the deployments have finished. And now it's going to go through, sleep for 10 seconds because we need to do some stuff. And then it's going to go hit each one of those agents. There, it invoked the first agent. There we go. Come on, give me the second one. Oh, there we go. We're done. So after that, it's going to post this to the Slack channel, and it's going to give us a report of the different deployments and how they went, right? And there's kind of a different scenarios when it could fail. It could the deployment could fail to start altogether with, right? The deployment could actually fail, right? The deployment doesn't actually complete, or it could look like the deployment's good and then you can't reach the agent, right? So there's a couple of different scenarios. So it's a really complex problem, and it gets even more complex, right? Because you could say is the right code there? So you could hit the agent and then expect something in the header, right? And then check if that signature is there. That's another layer I want to add on top of this. And we also have PR deployments, right? So this is another layer I want to layer on top. Once I get this working in prod, when it could spin up a PR branch, and that branch, the code on that branch could be determined by an LLM, right? And it could be a more agentic test. So we can test this large surface area problem. So this is what I've been working on, trying to support all these different scenarios and coming up with a way to sustainably do this.
Nice. Awesome.
So Gabe, let's hear from you.
Okay, I have some very basic news. It's just some stuff that we're working on. Mostly, I've been working on certain stuff on the app itself, trying to, smooth some edges on certain stuff. We found out that our filters were doing some weird behavior, so now we're fixing them and adding some new functionality to them. Now, whenever you open projects, for example, this is still going to be rolled out. I'm still fixing some stuff, but now whenever you open things that could give you a selection like projects, agents, and things like that, you will have all your projects and agents here. Eventually, this is going to be researchable as well. So you're going to be able to search your agents right here. And the idea is letting these filters do the heavy lifting for you, so you don't need to go and search for your IDs and stuff. That's pretty much it. Now for Matt.
Very cool. Excited to see that go live. All right. So we talked about this in our last demo week, and so wanted to bring it around to the end and the conclusion here. We've got the kitchen sink application, which is going to be really great for getting started and reference and everything else. But we, like I said last time, realized that it'd also be a really good way for us to sort of test our SDK. That pretty much touches on every piece of functionality in the SDK. So code coverage sort of out of the box, right? So Pratik and I have been working through getting this wrapped up with a lot of help from everybody else here on the team. Actually found quite a few little weird issues in the SDK and in the platform and everything else, things that were really edge casey that we hadn't really thought of. So already proving valuable to improve things. So what this does is actually, as you can see here at the beginning, we're pulling in the welcome. You've seen this before in your agents. You've got your welcome message and your prompts and everything else. So we're importing that welcome from all the different agents at the beginning of this. And what we're going to do is we're going to loop through every single one of those agents with all their welcomes. And within each of those, we're going to loop through the prompts array. So, this is our handler request agent. You can see we've got a couple of prompts. One sends hello world as plain text. One sends it as a JSON just to show off the functionality. So we're going to run both of those agents with, or that one agent with both of those prompts. Make sure we don't hit any of the try catch, throw an error, etc., and just go through the entire list of agents. When that's done, we'll actually get a Slack message at the end of the day that says, hey, great, everything went well, and good to go. If it fails, we've actually got this error handler, and you'll see it throughout some of these agents as well in other places. But we've got an error handler that will be in a lot of the catches. They will actually alert us on Slack if it errors out. So this runs every day at 5 a.m. UTC or something like that. And it's just a really good way of keeping us up to date and make sure everything that is working still, and there are no things that snuck in. So that's the one public thing I've been working on for the past couple of weeks. Other stuff, a lot of goodies coming soon, but we'll be saving those for a future demo day. And with that, over to Jeff.
Okay, I'm going to show off some new stuff that we just rolled out this week. So let me share my screen. And what's really great is this came in from Ben Davies, who's one of our power users and has been giving some great feedback. This is one of many things that we're trying to action right now, but he gave us his feedback earlier this week. The use case is I want to be able to create durable, resumable streams. There's a lot of use cases where I want the agent to go off and do a bunch of work and stream maybe that data or stream results, or maybe it's a video, whatever. I want to sort of do that asynchronously, have my agent go off and work, and maybe I even want to have multiple agents working on that stream at the same time. So that's kind of the use case. We have a new inside of context. We have this new stream namespace. Right now it has a create. You can sort of see it takes a name, which is like a bucket or just the name of the stream. And a set of optional prompts that allows you, the name just kind of allows you to group, which will make sense when I show it to you in the UI. You can pass some optional metadata. Those are completely up to you. These can be filtered. You can see them in the UI. You can eventually do stuff with them in the API, etc. And then an optional content type. In this case, we're also showing off a new feature we just also rolled out in production yesterday. This wait until. This is pretty popular and a lot of other types of platforms. So we've added it. It allows you to run something asynchronously. You can do as many of these wait untils as you want. In the background, it becomes an asynchronous task that goes off, and it doesn't block the main loop, or it doesn't block, if you will, the agent render, or the agent response rather. So you can either pass it a promise, or you can pass it a asynchronous function callback that will resolve to a promise. In this case, I'm just doing the LLM work here. I'm taking the request. I'm going to stream text. I'm using the Vercel SDK, which is really great to stream the text, get a result back. And here you can see I'm just taking that full stream result, and which includes kind of the deltas and all the tool calls, etc. And I'm just going to stream that to our stream we created above. So this stream object here is a writable stream with some properties on it. So I'm just going to pipe it into my stream asynchronously, and then I'm going to close the stream when it's done. And then down here, it's kind of cool. I'm going to show you a couple different ways to do this. Let's just first start with returning the stream. Maybe I just want to return the stream data to the client, maybe the unique ID of the stream and the pointer, a URL to that stream. So we'll start with that and see how that works. So let's jump over here to dev mode. I've got dev mode running, and then let's just hit that. And you can see it's immediate because it's fully asynchronous. So the stream went off and started working separately. And then I can take that URL and I can do something with it. So let's just, you can see it's a unique stream ID and an input URL. Let me just kind of go over here, and you can sort of see there it's content, it's all your tokens, etc. What's really cool is it's readable many times. So if I paste it in again, of course, I can read it as many times as I want, etc. Or I can go over here to my CLI here, and let's just put that in curl and see how that works. Okay, so I can see it just streamed out, and of course I'm hitting the same stream over and over and over. Let's do something like let's hit it and get a new head, and head will just tell us how big it is, and it supports range queries. So in this case, it's 7K-ish roughly. So let's say I just wanted to send a range query to it, and I could sort of say I want the bytes that let's say I want the last 7243. I just want the last part of the bytes, or maybe I wanted something like the middle of it. Where this becomes useful is, for example, let's say I was buffering the data as I was reading it in the client, and I was remembering the offset. Let's say thrown in local storage or a database, something like that. And then if it got interrupted, or the session got interrupted, the page got reloaded, and I just want to seek forward to that offset, I could just oops, not satisfiable, of course. I didn't pass the right range. That doesn't make sense what I just passed. So you can see a good error there. Take that out. There you go. You can sort of see I'm getting a partial. So that makes it really nice. So there's some different things you can do with the query for range. Okay, let's just say now, because that's returning JSON information about the stream. You could also just return the stream object itself. Since the stream object is a readable, you can just kind of return that. So in this case, let's see what happens if I return that. And you'll see, it started streaming in, and it's immediate because the start token comes before the LLM. And then you can sort of see it streams the rest of the stuff in as it receives it. So that's kind of cool. Let's see, the other thing I can do, let me comment that out, and I can just return the reader. So I could actually get the reader object, and maybe I wanted to do some of my own transformation or tokenization or whatever. I could just do that as well, and I could just return that reader that way. And then so you can kind of do kind of different things with it. Of course, another way you could do it here. I could iterate over the tokens myself. Let's say I wanted to go over each chunk, and I wanted to do maybe I wanted to take the chunk and do different things with it. You could do that as well. So there's different things you can do with it depending on the kind of use case, and it gives you some really flexibility. It's a durable stream, etc. Now let's go to the UI and see kind of what that looks like from the UI standpoint. We have the new streams section here. You can sort of see all the different streams that you've created. You can sort of see my stream here that I've been showing off and demoing. So I can click, I can see my metadata. I could manage them. So if I came in here and say I deleted them, you can see what I change some of the content type around, etc. I can filter if I wanted to search for a specific stream to find it, etc. And of course, I could delete everything in the bucket as well. So that's kind of nice. And you can do a bunch of different content types. This is a normal content type rendering, so videos, photos, PDFs, etc. That should render for the most part. If we can sense the content type, we'll try to render it correctly, etc. So that streams. One other thing that we also introduced this week that I think is pretty cool. Let's say you wanted to. Another big request that we get is I want to have different types of content bundled inside of my. Let's see my Z here. Not sure where my thing went. There it is. Let's say I wanted to have, let's say, this YAML file here, or maybe I want to drop a JSON file or any kind of file. Really, we support a whole bunch of different types of files. So let's say this is foo and bar. There you go. And I want to import this into my bundle them in. So now you can just sort of let's say I have my YAML from, let's say, index YAML. So let's kind of get the nice formatting YAML. Or I could say, whatever, JSON object from index JSON, and those get bundled automatically with your agent. And then what's nice is in the bundling, you can sort of get the exact value you can see there of the object. So, console JSON object or whatever. We have a bunch of different types that we support out of the box. You can sort of see here, I save that. If I go back over here, you can sort of see food bar. It's already been turned into an object, so you don't have to worry about parsing or anything like that. It's automatically. If you did something like binary file, of course, it'd be a buffer instead. If you did a string or like a text markdown file, XML file, etc., CSV file, that would just be already a CSV, would be already a string. We supported a bunch of different ones, so you can see here everything we support. So JSON, YAML files, Markdown, CSV, XML, SQL. Binary data, so all the different types of images and SVGs, etc. So let us know if there's a file type that you need that we missed, but it should be fairly comprehensive, so that's pretty nice as well. We have all the documents or the documentation updated for examples of all this, and if you go to the API reference, there'll be a stream section here that you can click and get all the documentation around the streams and how you interact with it. Bunch of different examples, slightly more complicated examples, etc. So looking forward to seeing what you do with that and looking forward to your feedback. Thanks again, as always, for the feedback. We drive most of the improvements and new things from the community. So please join our Discord and give us feedback or shoot us an email or join us in other social channels. We'd love to hear from you. Have a great week.